Okay, we are live. I like saying that. So let's see. Reacher episode 4 is called A Night at the Symphony. So we have our recap and going forward. Hey, episode 1, 2, 3 turned out well. No copyright issues. And I'm gonna do my best to share the screen, take out the trivia shit for people because apparently it's darkening the screen too much, and we're always making adjustments here. Yeah.
What
So
happened in the last episode, Luke?
Well, in the last episode, they broke into a highly secure villain's lair to find information that had no security guards, and they found out that one of their team may be with the villain that killed one of their buddies.
Dun dun dun.
Damn.
yeah, and still this mysterious right now. This $65 million is still unsure what the hell the $65 million is for. So okay. And it's company New Age. We have our buddy Russo, and now our four heroes are inside of a diner, and see they're going over all the information.
Yep, and and coming up with fucking nothing.
Yeah. And it's funny. There's so much banter between freaking O'Donnell and Reacher. It's fucking hilarious. Like O'Donnell.
I am really digging O'Donnell. O'Donnell is
Yeah,
so much
he is.
better written in the show
Yeah.
than he was in the book. In the book, he's just basically some douchebag with brass knuckles and a switchblade who's kind of slick and does slick PI shit. But in
Yeah.
here, they really fleshed him out good. And I like the little brother juxtaposition that he has. Check out fucking Neely's laptop. That's so funny. She's such a dork.
Yeah.
Look at her laptop with all the stickers and shit on it.
There is an arrogance to Donald that I can't help but like. He's very funny. So
Yeah.
It's a dog morning. He wants to go for a walk. Don't worry.
So this whole banter right here is basically O'Donnell. He's asking the question that Reacher doesn't want to hear, but is there a possibility that Swan could be dirty? Now Reacher, this could be he could be right, he could be wrong. There's definitely some bias because it happens all the time in storytelling. Swan's his friend, he's a family. He doesn't want to believe that Swan could be dirty, but O'Donnell's being realistic. We're listening, dude. He could be dirty.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, he's really shaking here. He's really shaking here as well. It's like that look on his face. He's like, no, he'd never do that. He wouldn't. He's
yeah.
Again,
really another improvement over the book because Reacher in the books never has any doubt. He's really comes off as people want to complain about him being a Gary Stu in the show, but I'll tell you what, man, in the book he's like ultimately flawless. And it's sort of boring after a while. That's why I stopped reading the books. I won't lie to you guys. So I know I'm supposed to be the big novel expert and stuff, but I haven't read every single Reacher novel. It's because a lot of them, they don't have any nuance to them. I like characters that are complicated, and Richardson plays Reacher a lot better than he's written. So I will definitely give him that.
Yeah. Is it like Lee Charles is good at stories but not very good with characters?
I think that's it. I think yeah, that's a weird way to put it when you have an author that writes just this one characters. So you think that he would be able to like really flesh them out. But honestly, they're not written that way. Reacher's very one-dimensional in the books.
Yeah, I have the same problem with Jonathan Nolan because he writes a lot of Christopher Nolan's films, and he can do stories and he can do concepts, but characters, they never feel like real people or speak like real people.
It's interesting that you bring that up because one of my favorite adaptations of a book that way surpasses the book is Christopher Nolan's The Prestige. The book is a piece of shit.
I've actually heard that's good. That I have not. That's the only Nolan film I don't think I've seen yet.
You've never seen The Prestige?
Not yet. No, I keep overlooking that one.
You're dead to me already.
I will give it a go. Oh, I want your approval. I'll see the film.
All right, fair enough.
So so basically they look over the employee list there, and it's pretty cool how Reacher figures out the links. Thing's probably the guy on the phone, and of course O'Donnell's like, yeah, well, there's 2 employees on the list here. We have to go through the entire freaking employee list. There's like 1,000 employees. And he tells Reacher, he's like, well, how we can do this and stuff, and he goes, well, just one at a time.
Yeah,
and that's it.
I will say this is so far my favorite Reacher episode of all time. But I'm gonna tell you that there's 4 major flaws in this episode, and that's one of the 4. the fact that he just leaps onto the idea that that guy is Langston and that's the one he talked to. There's no way he would know that. There's nothing that indicates that that would be Langston, other than the fact that that's frickin' Robert Patrick. Like that's like the only way that you would know that. So there's no way Reacher could have figured that out. So that's my one. That's one of my 4. But
I like the small line where Reacher's like, our buddy here, Swan's not dirty, and she goes, he wouldn't leave a dog behind. She's like, well, maybe he was worried that it was 3 pissed off soldiers coming at him and also a kaiju.
A kaiju, yeah.
She calls him fucking kaiju.
Would you believe I only recently learned that word? I didn't even know that word.
God,
this is a great. This is a great scene at the lieutenant and Russo. This is really good.
It's back to Russo and stuff. He's getting chewed out by his lieutenant, and he's like, "Yeah, you're supposed to keep your black eye on." He's like, "It wasn't Army brats. I made it crystal clear to them not to color outside the lines."
What, you thought you'd give them the nice information?
Yeah. I will also point out that Russo is a character made just for the show. He is not a character in the book.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but he's very good though. I like this character a little bit.
I do too. I probably like him the best after this scene.
Yeah, like that. He's like, well, okay, you lower your voice. He's like, you want me to lower my voice in my own fucking office? All right. Am I asking you nice enough, Russo? All right. So
he's really a man. He's really got a lot of character, Russo, doesn't he? Like look at the look that he gives his boss. Like he's like, I will lose my job beating your ass for talking to me in the way that you're talking to me. I like that.
Yeah. So Russo is a character, so I like him. I like his Brooklyn NYPD cop, just like no fucks given attitude. Like the guy just, he's doesn't take shit from nobody. So it's cool.
But he has a good code. He plays by the rules. I like it.
So back to these idiots, and I still like Reacher. What's up with Reacher music just in the background? This is the Talking Heads.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're on the road to nowhere.
Yeah. We're in New York. They're a New York band. They're a Rhode Island band that moved to New York.
Yeah, that's a good song to play while they're looking through details and finding absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, O'Donnell's gonna be a fucking smart ass. He's like, you probably like Psycho Killer.
Which plays at the end as well, which I like.
Yeah, small details and shit. Details matter.
See, now this would be extremely boring if like Reacher said, hey, I think it's blah, blah, blah. And then Dixon said, yeah, I agree. It's blah, blah, blah. And then Neely was like, yeah, I think you're both right. It's blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then we don't have that, do we? We have basically 4 varying opinions. One of them being O'Donnell, because O'Donnell, even though he's the family man, out of the 4 of them, we're gonna come to find out that the PI work that he does is a little on the savory side of stuff. So he's going to be the first one to say, you know what? Maybe our old partner is not as clean as he should be. Yeah. And Neely kind of jumps on it right away, but we're going to find out later why she jumps on that idea as quickly as she does.
I mean, they'll kind of get some understanding why he might not be as clean cut as Reacher is remembering him as.
Yeah.
So she's going to Neely is going through Swan's emails and talking about music that he hates, like Zeppelin and air guitars. And she notices that why does he keep emailing bands that he doesn't like? And it's probably a code.
Or maybe he's trying to get laid.
Or of course, O'Donnell says that. He's like, yeah, maybe he's lying to get laid. It's like men.
I told the girl I wanted to. I liked O'Keefe just to get my dick sucked. Yes.
He's like, we say things.
Yeah. This is why I love Donald at the moment. People were really bitching at the trailers saying, I don't like that team dynamic. I like him when he's on his own. I like this team. I like this team.
I do too. Yeah. I do too. This is really like, it's hard for you guys to understand because all you know of it is from the show. But like they went like 10 books with Reacher just being on his own, doing his own lone wolf thing before they did this with this team dynamic. I got to tell you, man, MPs don't work alone; they work in teams. So this is how a team would work.
Plus, his army as well. Armies cannot fucking function alone. They get surrounded by enemies. They need their fucking men, as many men by their side.
Well, but in a story, you don't want to. I'm sorry, Chris. In a story, you don't want to have too many characters. You have too many characters; they're hard to follow. It's hard to write. You know what I mean? So you want to kind of keep the people who are your main characters, the focus, you want to keep them. 4 is a very good number.
Yeah, because if you have, like you said, if you have so many, you run the risk of having some characters being the same when you want them to be all different and more distinct.
Right. As someone who has been accused of writing too many characters in his books, I can certainly relate to that.
Well, it's your first book. It's a good introduction to a larger universe, isn't it?
Yeah. So Reacher's talking about, so O'Donnell's private detective work, and he was basically blackmailing. He's, I incentivize.
Yeah, I like his justification. I always like a little bit of, because PIs are going to be crooked.
Yeah.
I mean, sleazy. Whereas Neely does a lot more like high end security, exec protect, things like that, and then you have Dixon who does paper law. She does a little bit of numbers crunching, things like that, counterfeiting, along those lines. White collar business type stuff. You could see that O'Donnell would do something like get video of a guy cheating on his wife in order to blackmail him. And of course, now we've got also Russo is blowing up Reacher's phone.
Yeah, and he keeps turning it down. So there's a kaiju line right there. So okay, O'Donnell has to make some phone calls, and it's funny how Reacher looks over at Dixon, and she's putting sugar in her coffee, and it's weird how flashbacks and memories get triggered.
Yeah, Wilfred Brimley diet.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep. So he sees her putting sugar in her coffee, and now we get a flashback. So, and this is a pretty good scene because it's breaking down. Reacher's talking to his who the hell's the captain there? Wes, the main guy. He's a guy with the kid.
Main guy?
The officer.
He's not a captain.
Sorry.
He's not a captain. He's a lieutenant colonel.
Lieutenant, okay. Yeah, Reacher's talking to him. He's like, Eddie's sports fans don't get up, but basically they did a massive bust right here, and they have 78 bricks.
I do like the fact that all these guys are officers and they're making the one sergeant do all the fucking technical work.
Yeah.
She looks kind of good. Is it just me, or is Neely? Are they making her look good in certain stuff?
Yeah,
she looks really good here.
I was telling Chris earlier about later on in the episode. Yeah, she's really doing it for me now. She really is.
And it's cool whenever do flashbacks. She's right there. You see her hair difference and stuff. And
I know.
Now, of course, now she's testing because they just had a bunch of bricks of heroin. Now, I've watched Breaking Bad as much as anybody else. Whenever you hear numbers, like the higher the number, the more potent shit is. And of course, Neely.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because that was the whole point of Breaking Bad. Like Walter he had like 94% or some shit because they were saying like the average like batch was getting like in the low 80s, and Walter had like the highest percentage batch. So right here, Neely, when Neely says like she's like 99%, everyone everybody just stops. It's a good acting, but she's like, yeah, this stuff could be like soap. She was 99%. Everyone's like, because that's especially with heroin, that's unheard of to have that potent of shit. Like, and of course, Dixon again, she goes, an investigation, details matter.
She's kind of running that into the ground a little bit, but that's all right. That's fine. That's her line, so it'll be all right. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we should take a drink every time she says details matter now.
We'll be fucked up.
Yeah, so here's a part right here where there's they have 47 bricks and there was 48. And of course the older guy here, it's how's his name? Stanley
Lowry.
Yeah, Lowry. Sorry, Stanley Lowry. I'm looking at the Amazon shit.
That's all right.
Yeah, but he swears that he's like, I counted 48 bricks. I'll make mistakes. But of course, Swan, he just makes that really off-color line where it's like, it's messed up where these people, how much money they make in a year versus like all of our pensions combined.
I'm glad you caught that. Yeah, I'm glad you caught that.
And it's like something that law enforcement. It's not even a new trope. I've seen it in so many TV shows, cops, movies, books. I mean, how many cops go through this shit? Like, the infamous line with Lethal Weapon 2. We watch it eventually. Friggin' Murtaugh's holding that shit in his hand. He goes, right now I'm holding my hand. This could put all my kids through college right now when I'm holding my hand. And of course, and Riggs is like, you know what? Take it. As like, whoa.
What is you guys' thoughts on this right here? Do you think he took it?
I think he did. I think he did.
Man, I'm on the fence about that. I mean, people. I want to tell myself that people can fuck up sometimes, and shit. Accidents can happen, mistakes can make, but like, also the point is these guys are supposed to be like the best of the best. So, I mean, what would these guys make such an obvious mistake? I mean,
well, now
no
we
one's
know why.
infallible.
Now we know why Neely was looking dubious about Reacher being so sure Swan wasn't dirty, because she remembered that incident.
yeah. Shall see.
Yeah, and they still have to, and the only way they're going to get that kind of IP is if they fill that's some quarters.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
Of course, right here, Neely's putting Reacher in check as she always does. She's like, you know what I think? I think that you want Swan to be innocent because if he's involved in something like this, she goes, you do something stupid like blame yourself on our friend's deaths, which, like I said,
Look at it.
is stupid.
He is doing some good acting here, because look at his face. Because as soon as she says it, you know in his face, you know that's exactly
look
what
at
it
that.
is.
That beast of a man.
I know.
He does think that.
He never overplays it either. He keeps it nice and subtle so you to figure out what he's thinking.
So we get back to so now we have our assassin dude here, AM.
Man, he is fucking frightening.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys that this scene coming up here in a second, I literally jumped out of my chair when it happened.
Really?
Yeah, that took me back. Yeah,
I did. A little bit. Did you see it coming?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Is it me, or does the plastic surgeon look a little similar to him, but with glasses as well? I almost thought they were twins.
That's the whole point. That's why he went after him, because he needed to get his identity.
Yeah.
I must have missed that bit, even though I watched it twice. But it's
when he realized that his counter identities were right in the fucking man. And then the talking to him as he's explaining to him what's happening, your lungs are filling up with blood. Now you can't.
I know he's got
now you're drowning. Now you can't hear me. Now you can't see me, and now you're gone. But when he drives, he's in the cab and he realizes that his cover's blown, and he sees the doctor's face on the billboard. He was like, okay, now I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, look at that. I thought he would get plastic surgery done to like change identity. He's like, nah, I'll kill this guy who looks like me. I'm like, oh shit. All right. So then he goes, yeah, I'm gonna go after you die, I'm gonna go talk to your secretary, and fucking butchers her too. Like, damn, dude.
Yeah. I like the fact he has a very soft voice as well. Like, do you realize why I like comic books? It's it sounds more sinister.
Well, you do that kind of creepy.
Yeah, British people are creepy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's see.
Jesus, look at Reacher's arms. Reacher's arms are like both of my arms.
I paused on purpose right there just to fuck you.
I have big arms, but his fucking arms are twice the size of both of my arms.
You look like a girly man.
Yeah,
dude. It's those two. That's too much manliness. Yeah. So Donald's showing these guys about this senator dude. He's got some gets caught with a sex worker, some good blackmail. And of course, Russo, he keeps calling Reacher, and finally he picks up. And again, I do like this banter between Russo and Reacher, because he tells me, he's like, Reacher's like, he's like, freaking people from my unit falling from the sky. So he's like, you haven't done shit.
I also like it. Russo kind of claps at him a little bit, like, oh yeah, maybe you broke your fucking hand when you drove the fucking car through the fucking gate last night. But then Reacher claps back just calmly. I didn't hurt myself.
I know.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it cracked up. It's his delivery. It's his fucking delivery that makes it work.
They picked such a perfect guy to play Reacher, because he has that comedic ability that I didn't know he had. I'd never seen him in anything before this, but we talked in another stream. We talked in another stream about like where he's from. I'm sorry, I've never seen Blue Mountain State. Don't come after me in the comments. I'm fucking sorry that I never saw the show, and I don't know who fucking whatever his name is on that show. I know he's super popular. My bad.
Yeah.
You see him on there. He was actually on X Factor USA as well back in the 2000s. Real young back then. Really check it out. It's fucking crazy.
Well, he tells Bruce right here, he's like, yeah, that's why. He's like, friggin' actually have reason to talk to you. I'm gonna send you some information. And like, yeah, what the fuck you think you're doing? I'm not doing your clerical work. Need your help, buddy. Run background checks. He's like, wait. What do you think? I'm gonna do your clerical work? Yep. He's like, we're busy heading off to Boston.
Is that how he said it, Chris? How did he really say it?
That's how he said it. He's like, yeah.
How did he really say it?
Like, what, you think we're here to do your clerical work?
I feel like, hey, Luke, I feel like Blue Collar doesn't want to like delve too fast. I think he's afraid that if he goes too far into the New York accent, he's not going to be able to come all the way back.
The funny part, as I'm skipping forward, people watch my Rebel Moon stream. For Dark Hour did his Jersey accent, and then he couldn't undo it for a good 10 minutes, so we both couldn't stop
Same.
laughing. He's
Yeah,
like, God damn, see what you did to me?
full
He's
on.
like,
Yeah, he did. That was the first time I've heard him go full on New Jersey
no, he
there.
said he purposely, he's like, he's a dude, it's hard to break that trope. He goes, now you got me fucking stuck doing it. He couldn't get out of it. It's like, once they get me out.
Yeah, because apparently he's had a very thick New Jersey accent, and he's kind of
Oh yeah, he
really
told me
back
that.
a bit, hasn't he?
He's like, God damn it, Chris, like, So Reacher and let's see, O'Donnell, these poor drug dealers again. It's like, it's not these
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah, I
he's
love
really
it.
picking on these same drug
Yeah.
dealers.
It's not
Yeah.
your week, is it?
I mean,
love it.
I can say, well, it's funny how they see O'Donnell thinking that O'Donnell's a cop. I gotta freaking pause this right here because it's got like Reacher. That's a light clothesline compared to what he
I
could have
know.
done to him.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he took it easy.
I'm surprised he didn't knock his fucking head off, even taking it easy.
So as fans were wondering, okay, it gets his gun. It's funny how O'Donnell takes his gun, puts it in the sewer, but Reacher is running his pockets and he's grabbing some pills and stuff and some drugs out of his pockets. Like, why is he taking drugs from this guy for?
So for anybody who has watched this show but also read the books like me, you're going to notice that we're going wildly off script now because all of this stuff basically, and I'm not shitting on the books because I do love the books, but Bad Luck and Trouble, the novel this is based on, they basically kind of just wander around and like they do a little bit of detective work, but all of this stuff, this machinations that they're doing, this is not in the novel, and I like it. I'm here for it all day. I really like how they've kind of taken the baseline of the thing and then go for it. So we're about to get into nitpick in this next scene. We're about to get into Wes's Lord of Toxicity's nitpick.
I gotta tell you guys one thing as I'm watching this and stuff, man. This is technology nowadays. This drone shot I fucking love it. I don't know why. I think John Wick 4 got me spoiled. John Wick 4, that the fucking Dragon Breath scene got me spoiled, but this shot right here couldn't have been made 10 years ago.
Good. Yeah, man. Good call. Yeah, definitely
because
good call.
that's got to be a drone. I'm watching it. The way it zooms down and you see these two walking.
Oh, it's
to the
for
back
sure
door.
a drone. Yeah, man.
Fucking
Excellent.
awesome. I was like, man,
yeah.
damn.
I'm glad you caught that.
Scene. So what are they doing here? Neely and Dixon. Something's going on.
So this is a standard 2x2 cover formation. They're going around. They're checking the front. They have limited resources, so they're making sure that the front is secure, and then they both go around tactically to the back. So you didn't catch it. You didn't put it on the screen. So I'll just describe to the people at home. Both MPs come up. One is primary through the door with her gun up. The second, she gets into a side stance, and then they're going to go ahead and make entry. The door's already open for some reason. And one weapon up, one weapon down, and then they're going to go ahead and go inside. My only nitpick, this is nitpick number 2, is the Beretta that Neely is holding is on safe right now. Can tell it's on safe because if it wasn't on safe, you would be able to see the big old red dot, just like in Die Hard on the Beretta. You'd see the big red dot showing, and the hammer would be back because the Beretta is a double action pistol. Yeah. So for all our gun nerds at home.
So Neely knew she had a kid by the freaking looking in cabinets there and seeing all the cereal boxes.
Yeah.
So she's like, has a kid to go upstairs. And so Dixon's like, must be in a hurry because she left some expensive jewelry behind for her. So what's going on? Like, why do you? And she left the back door without locking it. So this person was in a fucking hurry.
Now, of course, with the Alec Baldwin thing, I could see why they're walking around rocking the weapons on safe and stuff like that. But I mean, it really kind of pulls, if you're anybody that's military or law enforcement trained, it really pulls you out of the story because, anytime we used to watch NCIS when I was in jail, I'd be like, oh man, they'd run around clearing the houses with their weapons on safe. And I'd just be like, dude, come on, man.
But I like the fact that they're keeping their fingers away from the trigger, which seems a lot smarter. In fact, I'm seeing that more and more in programs now, which I never used to back in the 90s.
Now, one thing I have to say, I like the fact that Neely picked up in this, but this is also, as I'm watching this scene, now you read the book, obviously, and this is somebody who hasn't read the book. I have a Nintendo Switch, and I like the fact that Neely's like, she's a gamer, good taste, but this is how you take an older story, and you can update this to modern times, because when the book came out, this would have been like, whatever, Super Nintendo or something, but it's still the same premise where she's got a Nintendo Switch,
Yeah, the book came out in 2012.
Yeah, so it would probably be like a Nintendo Wii, but the point is like you wouldn't the book wouldn't have Nintendo Switch games because it didn't exist 10 years ago.
Right.
So it's the same premise, just different. They're just
Is
modern.
that what that is? I thought that was like PlayStation for some
No,
reason.
good thing I'm a gamer. So yeah,
That's
it's
how
just
old you are, man.
yeah. Well, yeah, but
Shit.
the kids got Crash Bandicoot, it's a Nintendo Switch, and just Neely, of
Okay.
course. I like the fact that Neely's a gamer. She's like, yeah, good taste. But the funny
Yeah.
part is, it's also this fits into me Neely's character when you break it down
Yeah.
because these are all kids' games. These aren't adult
Yep.
games she's playing. So it's like Neely is such a
Well,
kid
you
at
know what
heart.
they say about trauma. When a serious trauma happens to you, it stunts your growth mentally, and that's the age that you wind up staying at.
Yeah.
So if Neely was a product of the system as a foster kid and
Mm,
she suffered some abuse, then she
yeah.
sort of stayed like that forever. Hence
So
the cereal and the cereal shirts and the
mm,
kids stickers on her computer.
yeah. So Dixon found a shitload of money. Like, what is a whole bag of fucking money still doing left in the closet? Like, there's probably like a couple $100,000 in there easily.
Easily.
And so there's a reason this person left. Shit. But yeah.
Yeah, so obviously they leave the money, which is the smartest thing would be to take it because you
Mm.
need it. 'Cause you'll need it, won't you, if you want to get away?
Yeah.
And look right there.
Not if it's traceable though.
So
Mm.
back to our buddy Am, and yeah, look at the fucking his license. It's the freaking doctor's ID because it looks just like him. Yeah, doctor, and like, thank you for business. Have a wonderful drive. And this dude needs fucking comic books too. He sees a little kid, and he's like,
Who are these people in these fucking shows? Seriously, TBR Schmidt said the same thing. But who are these people that keep letting this fucking weirdo approach their kids? It's so fucking weird.
I mean, I guess
No.
if a guy walks up to a kid and hands him a comic book, most people just want to feel like, hey, he's just a nice older person to give my kid a comic book. I guess.
Shitting me. Hell
Yeah.
no, I would not be okay with that.
Not everybody's so jaded as you are.
This doesn't exactly look like a person you want to approach, really, do you? Does he?
Yeah. So of course now these guys are in Boston, Massachusetts, and yep, of course the motherfucker. Look at Reacher rocking the suit,
I love
man.
this scene. I
Jesus
know.
Christ.
He throws his fucking clothes away, and so he's practically going to be walking around for days in that suit.
Yeah, and this again, more of the fucking the O'Donnell and Reacher banter because O'Donnell's just constantly calling him out, and he's like, "Wait, where are the clothes you're wearing? Garbage, garbage. Why?" He's like, "I'm already carrying boots. If I need more clothes, pretty soon I need a suitcase. I got a suitcase. I need a house to keep it in. Then I need a car for the driveway. Before you know it, I'm filling out all kinds of forms." He's like, "So too much of an attachment for you."
And he asks him, "Have you ever been diagnosed as a fucking sociopath?"
You find it.
If I had $1 for every time I've been asked that.
There you go.
Man.
Look right there. Everyone ever diagnosed you as a sociopath? He's like, diagnose? It's like, yeah, he's been
Fucking
called.
delivery.
Even the way he questions it, like, diagnose? No. And like, there's no comedy in his voice. It's just matter of fact. Like,
I like the fact that the guy who fucking makes a living blackmailing people is questioning his fucking boss if he's a sociopath. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
okay, so I'll pause this here for Luke. And yeah, I gotta admit, boy, it's amazing how an outfit can change your opinion of somebody. Because Neely, look at that.
Mhm.
God damn.
Oh
What's
man.
what the hell's going on,
Yeah,
Neely?
but you know,
Yeah, she was.
Neely walks out and she looks stunning, but then Dixon comes out next
Now
and
I gotta
she
I gotta be
raises the
the
bar.
asshole. I'm sorry, 'cause I'm watching this on iMac right now, but I watched this episode on my television on an OLED TV in 4K, and now this
Uh-huh.
problem with technology where I mean I like this outfit with Dixon, but the makeup, like I mean, on my TV, the makeup is so fucking caked on. Like it's
Is
like
it?
I mean, right there you can't see it. The dress looks fantastic, but as I'm watching this on my television, I'm like, whoa, these guys. That's sometimes a problem with too much high def and too much
Yeah.
clarity. You see everything, and I'm
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And dude, they put like fucking 5 pounds of makeup on Dixon because right there,
Mm.
awesome shot. She's beautiful, but I'm like, damn, calm down the 2 hours of makeup they put on her. Holy shit.
Yeah. Do you think she might have had some work done as well? I mean, she's still a
No,
good-looking
no,
woman.
no, I think she's good looking for age. I'm just saying, like, you can tell
Man.
there's
Yeah.
there's, there's something like, even we've all had girlfriends where it's like, honey, 5 minutes of makeup is fine. I don't need 45 minutes of makeup. Sometimes
I
it's like
know.
it's when
Yeah.
Less
they
is
cake
more.
it the fucking. It's like
Yeah.
you can see it under their fucking cheeks and their lips where it's too much.
Yeah. But
That's
I'll
what I'm
tell you
saying.
what, man, she's wearing that dress like she's doing it a favor.
Oh yeah, I mean it's fucking hot as hell.
That's a good line. You
Yeah.
guys can use that line if you want.
And yeah, of course Neely fucking calls it Reacher. She's like right here. Oh, and close your mouth, boss.
God,
Yep.
I mean, she was growing on. I knew she was growing on me, but man, fucking hell, she really took it to the next level here.
Yes, she did. All right, so these guys are going to the opera, and yeah, they're gonna find a senator. And look at Dixon wearing that outfit. So okay.
Yeah, she comes across this guy who has a bit of an Andrew Scott from Step Brothers vibe here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was kind of getting that's a vibe I was getting. He reminded me of Andrew Scott a little bit from Step Brothers.
Yeah, no, I get you. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Again, none of this is in the book.
Yeah, it's funny. I do like the scene, of course, more scenes with O'Donnell and Reacher. O'Donnell talks to his kid on the burner, and Reacher acts like he doesn't hear anything he's saying. I'm telling myself that is Reacher actually like, so focused on his work, or he heard everything O'Donnell was saying.
Yeah. I
And,
like the O'Donnell's like, hey, give me the check because this guy doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
There is quite a bit done in the book where everybody is successful except for Reacher, and they like make a lot of points about it. Like the most successful person, ironically, is Neely. And I say ironically because in the military, officers, captains, lieutenants, and majors are all way above sergeants. So now in the civilian world, she's used her talents and now she's very, very wealthy.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for you guys to understand that, but I mean, if you're in the military, you'd kind of understand a little bit better. Like the lowest ranking lieutenant in the army makes twice as much a month as the highest ranking sergeant, just at their base pay. So she spent her whole military career being the low man on the totem pole, and then out in the civilian world, she's the rich one.
650 at 100K each. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
Yeah, so it's a tele chat. Like they
Yeah.
had many attempts, and only
Yeah.
some of them were successful.
He's like, it's all connected somehow. So hands are for helping.
Hands are for helping. That's such a fucking Gen Z millennial bullshit fucking thing to tell your kids. Jesus Christ. Whereas we know from season 1 how Reacher and his brother grew up. They're like, they go to another town. They're like, hey, if somebody gets in your face, beat the shit out of them.
So Donald's telling Reacher about his new life. Got kids and stuff right here. Schedule sex with my wife or with the wife. And Reacher's like, yeah, and you wouldn't trade it for anything in the world? And no. He's like, not for $65 million. He's like, you are a changed man, O'Donnell. You should give it a go, Reacher. He's like, you'd get 4 or 5 dogs or no woman.
I like how he says you could settle down and be the scariest guy at the PTA.
Yeah.
Great line. Like, they give O'Donnell some really good lines.
He says right there, he's like, no woman, not even Dixon. Ooh.
Yeah, we all heard you railing her at the hotel the other night.
And he's like,
probably jacked off while listening.
Yikes.
He's like, she's a friend, hell of a dress. Okay, so it's intermission. Let's say it's intermission time, and Dixon's got our target here. He's like, I'll follow you. I'll follow you anywhere gorgeous you lead, especially with that dress. Damn. So what is she doing with this guy?
We remember that we are in Boston. What character do we know that's from Boston?
Well, I just know that. Let's see. Try to find this fucking line right here because
he's
like, I have a guy here, and of course, O'Donnell's like, who do you have? He says, my guy's in place, and good line. Hey, this friend of yours, he's gonna come through for us, right? If he was in the army, I'd have asked him to join the 110th. I'm thinking to myself, who the fuck is who's Reacher talking about when I'm watching?
Did you really not know immediately?
No,
I didn't either.
Because somebody I knew told me that he read all the books, and you never see recurring characters. That's why I was
Because because he's not in the book. But I mean, I
What's
told you we were.
what's
I
well,
also
yeah.
told you we were going off script
What's
in
I'm
this
saying. I
show.
wasn't expecting to see any returning characters. That's why I said I was
Well,
surprised, saying that.
listen,
But
Is it-
details matter. Don't make assumptions. Assumptions
yeah.
kill.
Drink.
So let's see, friggin' Dixon here, she pulls out the pills and she starts chopping them up because the senator, it's like, oh, so that's why Reacher was tapping the guy's pockets for. Okay, I get it.
Hmm.
The setup.
You
And
can kind of see the kind of PI work that O'Donnell does now. Like this is the
yep.
kind of shit that he would do. Sort of like
Yeah.
Long Kiss Goodnight the other night, where he tricks the guy
Mhm.
into like getting in bed with a hooker, but the hooker's not really a hooker, but it's
Yeah.
actually his partner.
So yeah, we get friggin' a little rap on the window and all of a sudden pops out and I'm like, oh motherfucker. Hey, there we
That
go.
was so cool. I was like,
Yeah, I
oh
seen that. I'm like,
shit.
oh fuck.
I
No,
know.
no, I was smiling ear to ear and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, I wonder if Wes is gonna like this or not like this because this is a deviation from the books.
I do like
So
it. I don't have a problem with it deviating from the book
okay.
unless it's stupid. If it's clever, I'm all for it, man. I'm
Mm,
all for it. Like they're in Boston, so I mean, it's not like they didn't establish in the first. Now, honestly, it should be Lee Child getting mad at himself for not having
yeah.
come up with this idea,
Which
but
I
he's
did
in.
notice.
Yeah,
If you noticed, when I was going through the credits and stuff, this says directed by produced by Lee Child.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, hey, smart. So it's
This
definitely
could be a thing where he like when he got with the screenwriters for the show and he was like, you know what I always meant to do since I always meant to like bring Finley back and this
yeah.
could be
Yeah.
kind of cool because in books it doesn't really matter in books,
Hmm,
but in TV shows you definitely want recurring characters. That's why Neely, who did not make an appearance in Killing Floor, which is the first season,
hmm,
she does not appear in that book of the same name,
huh.
but they had her in there so that they could set it up for her showing up in this one.
Yeah. So Neely takes our or not Neely. Wow. Finley. Sorry. Finley
Okay.
takes our senator back to the police office and he wants to talk to him. And all of a sudden, Reacher pops in, gives him a handshake. Hey, Special Agent Jack Margrave.
Yeah, Margrave. That sounds
Like,
familiar.
yep.
I like the fact that he's still using his first name, which is good because if you're undercover and someone shouts the first name, you're going to turn your head, aren't you?
So yeah, they let's see, Reacher and O'Donnell, they give the senator the spiel. They tell me, we fucking it's like, why you guys doing this for? Reacher's like, you know what, I don't like you. But he's like, you want to lawyer up? Fine, call them. By the time they get there, we already have the story of the senator's legislative director in a wrong woman's car. He's like with a snout full of booger sugar. Fucking O'Donnell.
they really give O'Donnell some good fucking lines, don't they?
Yeah, I do.
I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Has this actor been in anything else? Because I want to check out more of his stuff now. I
I
don't.
don't know. He looks familiar, but I
Yeah,
honestly do
Yeah.
not know.
yeah, but it's cool. Cool.
Donald says right there, he gets his wife on the phone. He's like, yeah, happy wife, happy life,
Happy
right?
wife,
And
happy life, right? Yeah.
all right, turn off
Because
the
you could see he's done this shit before. This is
yeah.
old hat to him at this point.
Senator buddy, he breaks down this whole defense contract. And now, as a military man, Wes, you know this shit more than me, but this whole new technology he's breaking down, this sounds like some very scary shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like all that fucking. We had this company when I was overseas called Dynacore, and they would do all that drone shit and all the surveillance and kill from far away stuff. Me, I'm just had a AK and a Glock. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. So he
so
breaks down that this new age company, they said this technology it could be used in missiles and not just against them. But basically
mhm,
make it where fucking it's like anything in the air is fucked.
yeah,
Portable shoulder to fire weapons. It
hmm
defeats all known countermeasures. And of course, Reach is like, how? He goes, well, he's like asking nerd in a lab coat.
right.
All I know is that missiles shot from the ground completely bypass their target, making
Mm.
pilots believe the threat's passed. Then they recalibrate, turn around, and then that's it.
And that's your taxpayers' money going to that shit.
That's your
Probably for
Yeah.
taxpayers' money.
probably
Yeah.
for fucking real
Yep.
as well. I would not be surprised if this was really going on.
So yeah, so it's a military big thing, and of course, the senator's like, oh, well, I did nothing wrong. We just did it for defense defense budget and to pass it, and it's okay. It's DC. It's how shit gets done. But of course, yeah, he's trying to defend it to Reacher and O'Donnell. This bullshit.
Well, because he doesn't know any better, because he's just a suit in Wall Street. These are guys that have actually been in combat. They know how bad things can get when somebody misappropriates stuff like this and where that stuff can go to.
Yeah, and he says right there, besides, Lavoie knew Little Wing would save lives. Mm-hmm. But even like O'Donnell too, like the look on O'Donnell's face, like you see him looking down, just like he knows the implications of what you're talking about. Like this is some dangerous shit right here, dude. Yes, of course, our senator buddy's like, oh, don't worry about it, man. This technology's fine. Nobody's gonna get their hands on this stuff. Like you fucking idiot. Yeah, it's already happened. Which is how technology happens.
Do you think this guy might be another millionaire's son, totally ignorant and not being taught any fucking values whatsoever?
Probably, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what happens when you raise spoiled little brats to turn out like this douchebag.
Yeah. Yeah, so then O'Donnell and Reacher, they're done. He goes, yeah, you guys gonna drop the charge? What's going on? Reacher's like, I don't know. I'm not a cop.
Yeah, Alan Richardson's so fucking funny. He really he's done comedies before though. He was basically the young version of Scully from, was it Scully in Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I think so.
I forgot
Yeah.
which one of them it was. Yeah, so he's he's got some good comic talent.
It's a nice good banter with freaking Reacher and Finley. Just like there, he's like, you're still rocking a tweed suit. He mentions a dog.
Yeah.
He's like, how's the dog? He goes, yeah, eats a lot, just like his namesake.
Yeah. I love those little callbacks, and yeah. Plus, he looks good in that fucking tweet, so I'm not going to knock him for it.
There's a Reacher. What's the first thing when I met you? What'd you say? Trouble always seems to find you. Good callback, man.
And he's still spinning the ring here and there, but getting better every day. I like that. I like the fact that he's getting some kind of closure and maybe he's doing better.
And the dog, Jack eats too much.
I know. I like the dog. I like the fact that the dog is being well looked after as well, because that was kind of a good moment that humanized him in the first season.
Well, it's like what Luke said. Look at Finley. Didn't recognize you, Neely. Looking good.
Yeah, yeah. She don't want to be elegant. She wants to still be a rough and ready self.
Yeah, the way he says it, she's like, if I don't get out of the straitjacket soon, things are about to get ugly. Really? Yeah.
So here's my nitpick number 3. I hate to do it, but there's no fucking way after everything that got said in their little like beer fest. So they're driving back from, a good accomplished mission here. And, it comes up in conversation about his brother. They're going to go to Homeland Security because his brother used to work in Homeland Security. That makes sense. That's sound investigative stuff. You two go do this thing while me and O'Donnell do this thing. I got it. Good. Use your resources. But they bring up his brother Joe, who, if you watch season 1, you know that he is murdered. He used to work for Homeland Security. And there's no way that during that fucking beer fest session they had hanging out in the Vegas suite, or the Atlantic City suite, excuse me, that Joe was not brought up. They brought up all that other shit, and then just all of a sudden, right here, he's just going to drop the bomb. Or that Neely wouldn't have said, hey, don't mention anything about Joe because his brother died.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because when you haven't seen someone for a while, you usually do ask how the family or.
There's no way that would not have already. There's no way that was just going to be randomly dropped here. So that's nitpick number 3 from Lord Toxic, but no big deal.
Oh,
it's not. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's all right. It's fine.
Yeah, no, you do actually make a good point there. That's one thing I did not notice. Common sense, innit? It's a bit of common sense.
So, these guys are making their way to a diner, and hey, look, a bunch of bikers surround them. Oh boy.
Right.
Of course, Reacher's just looking around. He pull out some guns. Hate to ruin prom night. Hand over your guns.
Yeah.
What makes things we have guns?
Yeah.
He was told you back in Reacher. I'm thinking, okay, who the hell's gonna hire a bunch of fucking bikers? Like, damn.
Right.
He's like,
they need crystal meth money.
I like the fucking line right at Reacher. He's like, they also tell you you're gonna die tonight.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So this is my last nitpick. I don't have a problem with this. I just, how much easier would it have been just to have these fucking idiots have suppressors on their weapon. And then they're gonna like a gunfight, yes, is gonna be loud, but a couple random shots and like one shot into each one of the fucking cops' heads would be a lot quieter than this fucking backroom brawl that they get into here. So that doesn't even make any sense. Like, I get it, they have to have a good action set piece, but all right, well, I'll shut up and quit bitching now because it's about to be a cool fight, so that's fine.
Yeah, he headbutts he fucking breaks a man's arm with his head. I don't think I've ever seen that in a show or film. I like it. I like it. I dig it.
And again, nothing that I'm seeing these chicks do, the two female MPs, I'm not seeing anything that's unrealistic. And I am, like you see the two females, Dixon and Neely, they double team a guy because he is a big guy. So you see them kind of take it happens really fast because there's a few too many quick cuts. Jesus Christ, Reacher. But and then of course O'Donnell goes with his switchblade and his brass knuckles again because he's not the biggest guy, but he works to his strengths. You know,
You
so
know?
Jesus.
Yeah, Chris, your mic's muted.
No, the fact that Reacher's big ass just jumped down, he spun around and stuff, and then freaking took the guy's legs out right there. Took a fucking pipe, broke his leg. You're
Yeah,
like, oh shit,
see
man.
it.
Yeah,
So
this
yeah,
is pretty spot on to what the books would do because Reacher never puts somebody down and just like knocks. He wants to disable them so they'll never get back up again.
yeah. And like you're saying, it's like with Dixon and Neely, all their takedowns, like especially with Neely, I know she's doing like a lot of blocking. Most of her shots are elbow shots too.
Yes,
She's not doing
yes.
a lot of hits, but in
Yeah,
elbow shots.
she's not throwing dudes around.
No, 100%. In Dixon too, Dixon and most of her fight scenes, she's like she's struggling. Like not that she's like weak or nothing, but yeah, it's in terms of power. These guys are overpowering her and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she gets the stiletto, fucking heel right in the eye. Yeah, it definitely made me wince
Yeah.
that bit.
Yeah, how you doing? She's like, yeah, bucked to my heels, but I'm fine. Trying to find a part there. Fucking was it the one guy had a fucking bike and came at Reacher. Reacher just like knocked him off the bike.
Yeah.
Shit, hold on, I got it right there. Yeah, fucking with the fucking pipe off the bike. Like, God damn, dude. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that was it. So
Yeah, it was a good fight. Good little set piece.
So it comes down to the last little bit of dialogue. One of the friggin' bikers, their fucking phone goes off. Reacher picks it up, and gee, who's on the other line?
I wonder who's going to be on the other line.
Yeah, he's like, before you ask if it's done, yeah,
Not the way you wanted it.
exactly. He's all right, Langston. I see who I'm talking to. But right there, Reacher technically doesn't know it's Langston yet. He does say, this is, I assume, who I'm talking to. All right.
Right.
So,
But it seems obvious, doesn't it? Because who else has fucking
Well,
hired these guys?
it seems obvious only because Wes's nitpick number one, which is the fact that he made that intuitive leap that Langston was the main bad guy. But that's fine. If you go along that logic, then yes.
Yeah. So he offers Reacher the whole bad guy. Hey, let's make a deal. And he goes, I'll give you anything. I'll give you anything you want. And fuck Reacher. The very last thing he said, I'm just like, oh shit.
I'm gonna throw you off a fucking plane. Good way. Good line to end the episode on.
No, it's right there. He says, I want to throw you out of a helicopter.
Helicopter. Yeah. Damn, it's always one little fucking moment. Always one little moment I mess up.
Yeah, what's because what he did to his friend, man.
And then what song do we end on?
It's like give it up.
Of course.
What do you guys think? Best episode so far? I think so.
So far. Yeah, it's fucking fun. It's funny. It's got some good action.
Fast paced, flies by.
And the fucking comic delivery of Alan Richardson is just fucking on point.
It is.
Yeah, fantastic episode. And so like you're saying, I guess they're obviously deviating from the books a little bit. Seeing a return of a character from season 1 I did not see coming, and it was a very pleasant surprise. I'm like, oh shit, they brought him back. Like,
yeah.
So maybe we'll see him in like season 3 or something. But
and they didn't, and they didn't bring him back. They didn't they weren't like in Texas, and then Roscoe shows up. Hey, I'm here to help you because my cousin lives in Texas. You know what I mean? Like, it was well established that Finley was a Boston detective and was down in Georgia to try to get over his ex-wife. But he was from Boston. He grew up in Boston. So if they have a mission that's in Boston, he happens to know a detective in there, and that he would use his resources. So it's well established and set up. I like it. I dig it.
Yeah. It does help out having the guy who wrote the fucking books being executive producer. So he's probably got his own insight why he wants, things done the way they are for. Before we head out, this was a constant thing with House of the Dragon for people who haven't watched it, but a lot of people said that some people would speculate with Game of Thrones, the last 3 seasons went to shit because they kind of stopped listening to George Martin. And love him or hate him, the first 4 seasons were fantastic following the books. So House of the Dragon, he had like a lot more insight, than he got way more involved than the last 3 episodes or 3 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And now people say House of Dragon's like one of the best seasons yet because he came back and said, "Fuck this, man. I need to help you guys out because you are screwing up my shit."
Right.
Sometimes having the fucking author helps out.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, when my stuff winds up on HBO, I'm gonna be right there the whole time, being like, "Hey, no, Jimmy McCulley would not say that. This is what he would do."
Jimmy McCulley would not be a transgender either.
Right, right. I want Charlie Hunnam or no deal. Charlie Hunnam is Jimmy McCulley or no deal. Or I will play him myself.